Here's an easy way to build an AI customer support agent with n8n, with no coding, for absolute beginners and non-techies. By the end of this video, you'll know how to build an n8n workflow that powers an AI agent trained on your own business knowledge. Whether it's inventory documents, SOPs, or internal FAQs, just upload your files and your AI agent will be ready to respond with the right answer to your customer queries every time. So let's get started. Now, the first thing you want to do is head over to n8n. And if this is your first time hearing about n8n, do check out my other videos where I guide you on a step-by-step process on how to get signed up on n8n. It's fairly easy, but in this case, I'm still going to guide you on how to get started quite quickly. So what you want to be able to do is click on Get Started. And basically, you can sign up for a free 14-day trial. Fill up your full name. It doesn't have to be your real name. Company email, email address. Again, it doesn't need to be a company email. It could be a Gmail if you're using it on a personal basis. Of course, a password and account name to your liking. And essentially, you can start your free trial here. So the name must be lowercase. Okay, with letter followed. So all right, I can't have that underscore. So start your free 14-day trial. And you're going to have a bit of onboarding question here. What size is the company? Figuring API authentication. Okay. All right. Let's do event there. Nope. Nope. All right. So once that's done, automate. Sorry. So this is to add another user. What you want to do is skip it at this point. And the workspace is spinning up. And at this point, you just got to wait for a couple more minutes. And bam, your workspace is ready. And there you go. So in this case, this is a dashboard for n8n. What you want to do is just click on Start from Scratch. And here you are. So this is the workflow. And again, if you're new to n8n, you might want to go through a little bit of the basics in terms of how the nodes interact with each other. But in this case, I'm going to just jump straight away to the build. And most of these concepts are pretty intuitive, so you can kind of pick it up as you go, right? So the first thing you want to do is to put in a chat trigger. So in this case, it allows you to chat with the AI agent later on and get kind of test responses. It just makes everything easier. And the second node you want to be able to pull out is the AI agent node. I'm going to set up the AI agent node here. And of course, with any AI agent, you want to configure the chat model. So in this case, I'm going to put OpenAI as the chat model. Again, this is the brain of the AI agent, and you need to put in at least one type of LLMs in there. So they could be OpenAI, DeepSeek, or Mistral, or whatever you prefer, right? So so in this case, I'm picking OpenAI. What you need to do is to create a new credential to connect it to the OpenAI account. And if this is your first time doing it, again, there's another video for you to check out on how to connect it with the OpenAI account. But in this case, I will still run through the easy way to set it up. So what you want to do is head over to platform.openai.com and click on sign up. Then you can sign up with an address here, an email address, and you could send a password. Okay. So just send a code to my email, go back to my email. There we go. There's the code. Just copy that in. All right. All right, now you're in. So again, organization name, that could be personal, could be somewhat technical, and just create an organization. And it doesn't matter if you're using it on a personal basis. You don't really need to have an actual organization. Again, organization can be personal. And I'll click on, I'll invite my team later. So there you are. So you have your first API key, and you could just name this n8n API key, and generate the API key. There we go. So again, for those of you who haven't watched the other video on how to get started with OpenAI and how API works, basically API is the way you would communicate with other tools, other external tools. Just think of it as the API key, just think of it as the key which allows you to connect with other tools, right? So with this API key, you want to go back to your workflow, and this is where you would paste the key. And again, leave everything else as it is. Click on save, and connection tested successfully. So now you're connected. All right. So in this case, I'm going to just pick. Again, once you're connected, you'll be able to pick your models. But in this case, I'm just going to pick the GPT-powered mini. It'll work well. And now we're done with the selecting the LLM model, right? Next thing you want to do is create a memory. So just click on simple memory because that's the easiest. You can leave everything as is for now. And again, memory serves as the basis or as a library for the AI agent to fetch to remember past conversations or past conversation threads that you have with it. So it has context on what the previous things are. So for example, if you're asking it for the color of the lipsticks, for example, right? Because you're selling lipsticks, you want to be able to continue that conversation. So if it kicks out, you have a blue lipstick, you want to be able to ask what sort of blue, and what kind of other colors maybe that matches with it, right? So it needs to retain that particular context. So in this case, once you're done with the memory, you want to give it a tool, equip it with a tool. So in this case, we would start with the Google Docs tool because this is the easiest to start with. In this case, you need to connect it with your Google account. So create a new credential, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky, configuring your Google account. So where you want to go is the Google Cloud console. So that's console.cloud.google. So the moment you get in there, you'd be greeted with this. So essentially just agree and continue. And in this case, create a project, new project. So you can call it my n8n auth project, no organization, create. Okay, so select project. And here you want to head over to the API and services. Okay, and you want to go to the OAuth consent screen and click on get started. Got it. App information, so n8n auth. Okay, and user support email, just put your own email, click on next. Audience, I'm going to click on an external here, because internal is for people with workspace. Contact information, Mark, so it's your email again here. Next, agree, continue, and create. Cool, okay, so now that's created, where you want to go is go to clients. Create clients. So in this case, you want to pick web application as your application type. And this could be web client n8n. All right, so okay, you can skip these parts. What you want to do is to fill in the authorized redirect URL. So click on add URL, and at this point, you want to head back to your workflow, to n8n workflow, and click to copy this OAuth redirect URL. Sorry. And just paste the URL into the authorized redirect URLs and click on create. All right, so now you have your client ID and your client secret. So of course, copy the client ID and go back to your workflow. Again, this is the client ID, you want to paste that. And let's get our client secret and paste that as well. And now you can sign in with Google. All right, click on automate with Mark. All right, so it says access block, n8n Cloud has not completed the Google verification process. So sometimes you gotta wait a couple minutes for it to work. At this point, what you can do is go to audience. Want to make sure you publish the app. This is to make sure that your token doesn't get refreshed every day. So when you don't publish the app, a lot of times it will ask for a refresh token every day. So remember to do this. And again, publishing it doesn't mean that the app is accessible or visible to everybody. It's just accessible and visible to people you share it with, and of course you don't, share those secret keys with them. Okay, so let's go back and see we're able to do it now. Okay, for now, because we've just created it, so Google hasn't verified the app, but you can, still proceed and get it connected. It's just a standard kind of a safety feature, security feature that Google has. But yeah, you can still go ahead and connect it. Alternatively, you can, of course, wait a couple more minutes and it will probably go away and it will probably get verified. But yeah, so now you're successfully connected. But there's one more thing that you want to do. Head back to Google Cloud and just search first of all, your Docs API, Google Docs API, and you want to enable this Google Docs API to be able to basically leverage it and use it, right? Okay, so now that's enabled, as you can see here. And a couple of other ones that you might want to enable is the Google Drive API. So this is a pretty common one. So you have the documents, and you probably, if you want to connect it to your drive, you need to enable it as well. And lastly, well, we don't need it for this workflow, but usually Gmail and Sheets are kind of the common ones that you want to activate. So all right, so we're good for now. Let's go back here. So now the Sheets the Google Docs has been connected. Tool description, we're gonna leave it as that set automatically. Resource, document, operation, we want to change this to get, because, so let me just take a minute to explain here. The reason why we are building this AI agent is we want it, so customer queries are gonna come through this chat to the AI agent, and the AI agent is gonna query basically the Google Docs, and the Google Docs are gonna contain the SOP or any standard FAQs that you have. And of course, that may not be the best architecture to have if you're trying to scale up, but this is a good start, easy to connect and easy to update as well. So in this case, what I have is a document of a fictitious company called Glamness. So Glamness Beauty is a beauty product distributor. So it has a couple of product description here in terms of makeup, skincare, tools, the color, etc. And then some information about the order fulfillment arrangements, the refunds policy, exchange policy, some FAQ from customers, guidelines for AI retrieval, and all the other stuff that goes with a typical SOPs, right? So in here, we're going back to the Google Docs, and operation is get because we want to get the content of the document. So that's why. And then, get back here, and what you want to do is just copy the URL link and paste it here and try to execute step. And you should be able to see that the agent, or rather the Google Docs node in this case, is able to retrieve all the information in the document, right? Okay, so cool. So now things should be working very well. So what we're going to do is one more thing before we test it out. In the AI agent chat, the AI agent node, what you want to do is add a system message and just let it know you're a helpful assistant, your helpful customer support agent, fetch, cross-reference the Google Doc for any customer queries for relevant information. If relevant information is not found, do not make up facts. Plainly let the user know that the information isn't available. So we're punching this in just to be sure that the AI agent doesn't hallucinate, right? So cool. All right, so let's try this out. Hello. Now Chen with the agent. So the agent kicks out an output, says, hello, how can I assist you today? So I'm going to ask it. So let's ask, what are the type of makeup products they have, right? What are the type of makeup products do you sell? All right, let's try that. So as you can see, it's retrieving the information from the Google Docs. So here's the output. We sell a variety of makeup products, foundation, concealer, eyes, lipsticks. So these are the stuff that were in the document. Cool. All right. So now this is pretty useful as is, but as you can see, it's not connected to anything. So everything is happening on this particular n8n workflow. And what you want to be able to do, of course, your customers are not going to be interacting to the AI agent through this particular interface or platform. So what you want to do is to connect it to a platform of choice, right? So that could be Telegram, that could be email. Okay, not email, but that could be WhatsApp, whatnot. But in this case, I'm going to show you how to just quickly connect it to a Telegram node. So in this case, just start from the other end. I'm just going to replace this. Oops, take that away. So I'm going to replace this with a Telegram node. So Telegram trigger, because it's a trigger node. So this would be on message, right? So, okay, so with the Telegram trigger, you want to be able to create a new credential. So in this case, what you want to do is head over to Telegram. And in the search bar, just type in Botfather and this will show up. Remember, always check that it has the blue tick. That's the one. Essentially, click start when you're there. Botfather is the place where you create bots within Telegram that listens in on customer's message in this case and pass it on to the n8n workflow, right? So in this case, you want to create a new bot. Choose a name. So this could be customer support. LangChain, which is our company name. We're going to use the same name here. I'm going to add a bot. Okay, so now it's created, right? Cool. All right, so this is the access token API to this particular bot. So you want to click on that, and it's copied to clipboard, and just go back to your n8n and paste in the access token. Click on save, and that should be it. Just waiting on the green bar. There you go. So connection tested successfully. Cool. All right, so now you're connected to the Telegram account. That's cool. You want to test it out, right? So let's go back here. Okay, so you can click on, you will find me at this URL link here. Just click on it and you'll be chatting with the bot, right? So as you can see, it's called the customer support n8n, which is the company name, and just say hi. Actually, the first message here is /start. So if we go back here, oh, sorry, I didn't connect it with anything. So let me just connect that and delete this one. Pull this down. Okay, so Telegram trigger here. All right, let's click on execute step. So actually, it's already receiving that message just now, which is hi, right, from my name, which is automatewithmarc here. So yep, it's working well. It's receiving the chat triggers. It's receiving the message from Telegram. So, and then it's passing it on to the AI agent. Now, of course, once the AI agent kicks out the output, you want to send that back to the same Telegram chat, right? So in this case, let's create the node, which is the Telegram send text message. Okay, so the Telegram account is already connected. You don't have to reset, re-implement that message as a resource, correct, send message as the operation, and this is where it's important. So it's asking for a chat ID. That's important because it wants to be able to send the message back to the same chat. So if you're chatting on this particular thread with it, you want to make sure that it replies here, right, and not to some other chat. So in order to get the chat ID, you want to just try to execute the workflow first. Sorry, okay, so there's a problem running workflow. Please resolve outstanding issues. Okay, so it's asking chat ID here. Execute previous nodes. Okay, it's not allowing me to do that. Sometimes this happens, and what I do, I just take it away first. Just execute workflow. As you can see, when I click on execute workflow, it's waiting for a trigger event because the Telegram trigger is awaiting for a message in this particular channel. In this particular chat, right? Because we're chatting with the bot. So I'll go, hello, how are you? Okay. And so the Telegram trigger is receiving the message. Something goes wrong with the AI agent node, of course, because we didn't remember the variable that we put in here was from the previous chat node. So in this case, we've changed it to a Telegram trigger. So what we need to do is to change this as well. So I'm going to click on define below. And in this case, I'm going to drag this particular text, which is in the schema, which says, hello, how are you? Because that's the content of the message. And we want to pass on the content of the message to this node. So let's click on execute step. Well, okay, it's not. Okay, so there's another error in the simple memory. And as you build any workflow, you're going to come across multiple errors, right? That's just part of the process of building. So you just got to fix it, and it'll be okay. So define below. So this is an ID key. Again, simple memory is kind of the same as the reference to the chat ID. It needs to make sure that it's referencing to the right session ID. So in this case, I would take the chat ID, put it here, and that should work. All right, so let's rerun this. Yep, now it works. Okay, so it's not fetching the Google Docs because it's just hello, how are you? Cool, so that's working. So the reason why we want to do all of that before resetting the Telegram send message and a text message is because we want to be able to fetch the chat ID here, right? So that's why we were trying to run the previous node so that it gives us the chat ID value here. So that's the chat ID. The text that we want to kick out is actually from the AI agent, which is the output here. Let's drag it in here. And basically, this would get kicked out to the Telegram chat. Reply markup, none. Cool, okay, so let's execute the step. There we go, it should work. Let's go back to our Telegram, and there we go. It says, I'm just a program, but I'm here to help you. It does say this message was sent automatically by n8n, so let's just go back here, add field, append n8n attribution, and just toggle that off. That should take away the message there. So there we go, right? All right, so cool. Now we are done setting these up. So let's execute workflow. And now you can chat with the AI agent here. So we can ask, how many colors of lipsticks do you have? Let's ask it that. So if you go back to the workflow, it's receiving the query. it's checking the Google Documents, the SOPs to check the number of colors of lipsticks and kicks it back to Telegram. So there you go. So the document doesn't specify the exact number of lipstick colors available. However, it does leave some standard shade of lipstick, such as, these are the colors. Okay, cool. At least it's not hallucinating, and it's giving you basically the range of colors that is in the document. So just to be sure, let's go back to the lipstick colors. There you go. Right, so it has all of this. And of course, if you want it to sound differently, you can prompt it. You can basically change the prompts here in the system message, make it sound. You can add like sound, tonality, like just do tonality, friendly, casual, and helpful, for example. Right, so you can do that. Save. And then, they'll basically change the tonality. Let's ask it one more thing. Let's say, what are the refund policy, right? Let's do that. Skip workflow, it's waiting for trigger. What is your refund policy? Okay. Again, it's querying the AI agent, fetching the Google Docs, kicking back out to Telegram. Our refund policy states that customers may request, however, certain refunds will be originally paid within 5 to 7 business days after the product inspection. So let's see if that's what it actually says here. Okay. There we go. Cool. All right. So that's an easy way to set up a simple customer support agent. However, of course, this might not be the best architecture to set up if you have a bunch of different documents, right? Again, this is easy because it's just one single sheet. So if it's a whole, if it's a host of documents, you have multiple SOPs, then you probably want to create something called a vector store, or store it in a particular vector store and be able to fetch it from that. So let me know if that's something that you're interested for me to build, having the vector store plug into the AI agent, which makes it more of a RAG system, which is typically the best practice in terms of having an AI agent very quickly fetch information from the database, right? But otherwise, that's an easy way to set up a easy customer support AI agent and get it up and running. Let me know if you face any challenges in any part of the build, and also let me know what you'd like to see me build next. But otherwise, if you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one.